Let's now get down to the business of tonight. And it's a serious one, everyone. If you can get your family members together, try to do so. This is one of a show that every member of the family needs. If you have your staff around you, please gather them together, get a cup of coffee, and let's talk about one thing that is very important to the lives of everyone in this country, and that's security. That is one thing that is on the very top of the list of what President Muhammadu Buhari says he plans to deal with as president, and that is security. Of course, that is a primary and fundamental role of any government to keep its citizens safe. But recent incidents in Zamfara State has sparked the nationwide outrage of Nigerians asking for an end to the incessant killings across some parts of the country. Today, the president met with security chiefs, and one thing they said he told them is to get the bandits disturbing the peace of states like Zamfara and its environs out of town. Lawmakers in the House of Representatives, at about the same time the president was meeting with the security chiefs, that asked President Muhammadu Buhari and giving him 48 hours to appear before them and address the incessant killings across the country by alleged bandits and killer headsmen. In a motion considered in plenary, the House resolved that the president should, in his speech, when he appears before them, address the inability of his administration to declare the herdsmen as terrorists, despite several motions and resolutions by the National Assembly. According to the House, failure by the president to address the nation will lead to the conclusion that the administration of Buhari, that is, has failed in its primary constitutional duty of ensuring the security and welfare of Nigerians. The House also resolved to hold a public hearing on the matter to determine permanent solutions to the killings. Everyone, let's get talking about it. Joining me is a professor of criminal justice system and penology from our Abuja studio, Professor Usiji Medana, and here in Lagos is Colonel Yomi Dare, a retired army officer. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you, Seun, for having me.
You are the expert. Tell us, are we in trouble?
Well, Seun, there's no need to look at the crystal ball before we know that all is not well, especially in terms of security in this nation. And the situation that we have at hand right now, I must confess to you, is a clarion call on each and every one of us to get down from our high horses, to shun our political differences right now, because this is a threat to our nation. The security situation that we are facing right now is really bad.
It's dire.
It's really dire.
Is it that bad for the lawmakers to say, President, come and appear before us and tell us how you hope to deal with the situation? If you look at Zamfara State, there are killings there. In some part of Jigawa, in some part of Kaduna State. In fact, in Lagos State, there were issues of kidnapping. There seems to be an after-election effect of some of these security threats that we're seeing in the country. What could have caused this?
Well, it is not far-fetched, in my opinion, because when you look at it, we have to look at it like looking at a short-term and a long-term solution to this problem. Well, let's look at the short-term solution. We have to fix the economy. If you look at the rate of unemployment, I like to say, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. There are lots of people, and the youth being in the high number here, roaming about without employment. So there's need to do something urgently to arrest this situation. Okay?
Well, look, from your own point of view, yes. The president, there's a situation in the northeastern region. That was what this government met on the ground, dealing with the issues in Yobe, Adamawa, and Borno State. Yes. That was a major one. But it does look like things have escalated beyond that. We're still dealing with issues in the northeastern region of the country. And if you give us an understanding of what you think is happening in Zamfara State, for example, this banditry, someone has said on this program that it's just a coinage of terminology, that what is happening in the Northeast is similar to what is happening in Zamfara State and perhaps in some part of Kaduna. Is it true?
Well, I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that. But one thing I want to say here is that the situation is really so bad, and that especially in Zamfara State, just like in some other part of the North, it is the porous borders. So where you have these people, influx of illegal, immigrants, people just coming into the country, okay? So we really need to step up. If it means shutting down our border in some of these axes, so be it. Because
I mean, those borders are so wide that we don't even have...
That's why we need to do something about it. We need to do something about it. And don't forget, I'm going to look at security holistically, not just for Zamfara. It's all over the country. Even in Lagos here, just like you mentioned recently, the head of the fire service was kidnapped. And there are so many cases. Even some cases go unreported. The people don't want to make so much noise. They just go and negotiate. And then they pay the ransom, and then they get their people freed. And then one of the main causes of this, like I said earlier, is unemployment. People find it so lucrative now to kidnap, and then they rob the people.
Let's bring in Professor Usuji Medana here. He's studied criminal justice system and penology. Professor, weighing on this one, the lawmakers are saying, look, the president must come to them and explain. He has explanations to make. What are your thoughts about what is happening in the country, the cause and the reactions of the lawmakers?
Sean, let me first and foremost borrow from my colleagues here. Security is everybody's business, and it goes beyond politicking. This is the only country where every year round will be spent politicking. You see people talking about 2003 from 2015. People started talking about 2023 rather from 2015. And if you have such country where aspect of national development is somehow neglected at the expense of politicking, you see even the social interaction of the populace will be somehow severely jeopardized. Now, if you look at, as my colleague said, we have almost 18 states that borders our neighboring countries. It is a cross-border kind of banditry. Security is who you know, not what you know. The more information you have on individuals, the more accurate you predict their actions, the more accurate you protect the society against the evil of such individuals. This is a country that we don't have kind of DNA laboratory, and I think we must have. In the NIM kind of number we are about to start, I think we should incorporate that so that we can have a rapid identification of criminals. Then if we have that one, even the issue of abduction, when people are abducted, you'll be able to track them. Then you should commend the security operatives too. This is a country that our population is almost 200 million, and our police, they are not more than 300,000. If you look at the United Nations ratio, we are not close to that. Then if you look at special deployment to states,
Prof,
it's almost 37, or rather 27.
Sorry, apologies. So, Prof, let me pause it for a moment. We need to go on a break. When we come back, we look at what we can do to resolve this situation. But it does look like there's a political intervention to this. What the lawmakers are saying and the kind of intervention they are making and the way forward for the country. That's going to be next, everyone. Gonna see. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation. It's a serious one, like I said earlier on the program, because it has to do with security. And, I mean, just like I said, it's everybody that needs to get to hear this, the young or old. And my guest has said, look, it is everybody's business. So let's get back to talk. My partner tonight, Colonel Yomi Dare, is a retired Army officer. And we have in our Abuja studio Professor Usuji Medana is a professor of criminal justice system and penology. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on tonight. It's indeed a very critical situation that we're in. Let me allow you to land on your thought, Professor. What we have on our hands right now, you heard what the lawmakers have said in that story that preceded this time before we came back from that break. So where do we go from here? Colonel Darius said we need economy to be fixed. From your own point of view, the causes and the immediate look at the solution.
Let me be frank with you, Seun. Most of the crises and crime and criminality we have in this country are socio-politically related. In this country, you see where talks are being built. And at the end of the election, the money given to them has maybe elapsed. Then they will now look at the society to look at the soft targets to see how they can sustain their criminality. I said before that it's who you know, not what you know. You know, intelligence gathering is very, very expensive. And if you want to do that, you have to incentivize the intelligence gathering, where our security will be with the people, providing some essential services so that the people can give them intelligence. We don't have such in because the budget, our security budget, the lawmakers that are talking, you see, there are issues of politicizing the whole issue. Connell said something that we have to forget about politics. We have to look at the issue critically, horizontally and vertically to see how we are going to tackle this issue. This issue, if we go to anatomize it, that is to go to anatomy of this issue to see what is happening. There are a lot of people doing researches on crime and criminalities in our universities. We have to go back and get these people together. Professor, it's not just one person business.
All right,
the Constitution
let me butt in quickly. Sorry, apologies, Professor. Let me butt in quickly. And my question will be, yeah, the National Assembly is an arm of government. And the House of Representatives, lawmakers are saying the president must appear before them to explain that there is a solution to the problem. Do you see that as a way for us to resolving the issue or another layer of politicization?
These are rhetorical issues, you know, politicization. There is bill before the National Assembly, and I think it was passed today, just reaction to what happened. The bill for the police trust fund. We know the funding of the police. Countries has gone into digital policing, and now the bill has been passed. So everything we do in Nigeria, there are political connotation in it. If we really want to address the issue, we come from different directions. We know what is happening in the country, but always we go with sentiment, political bigotry. If we go that way, we are not going to find the solution, my brother.
Let me ask Konadare here. Do you think it's time for the president to perhaps rejig and change a few things in the security architecture of the nation, perhaps in the hierarchy of the military or the military? Maybe there needs to be change, or even the police. And what do you think needed to be done urgently and critically too?
Well, Seun, like I said earlier, that you know, for me, there are two solutions to this: the short-term and then the long-term solution. Like I said, part of the short-term solution is, you know, to fix the economy and also create employment. Okay, and aside that, all the security agencies must synergize, work together. Okay, they must work together. All the security agencies bearing arm, be the custom, the immigration, they must work together. They must all face security because we have a very, very serious issue at hand. And that is, you know, talking about the short term and also intelligence gathering. Now, looking at the long-term solution, the long-term solution will be...
Sorry.
Okay.
The senator there,
Yes.
There's a major problem with this, the ground up, the Constitution. He said there's a major problem. Do you agree?
Well, I really do not. I mean, for me, that sounds so verbose. What exactly is the problem? Okay?
Do you think that we should be looking at community policing or state policing?
Community policing, state policing, that is the long-term solution that I want to provide here. It is high time. Let's forget about grandstanding. Let's forget about a situation whereby a governor cannot even call his commissioner of police and talk to. The commissioner of police has to take instructions from above. No. Please, let's drop politics. And like the professor said, everything is politicized. You cannot politicize security for crying out loud.
I mean, butting in again, and I mean, you've been to several countries of the world.
Yes, please.
They wouldn't say don't commit crime. Commit crime. But the capacity of the state to catch you, and you won't even go far. If there's a crime committed and you know that you'll be caught, that's a deterrent, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But that seems to be very low in this country.
Very, very low. I do agree with you. here in this country, and because of politicking, you know, people, thugs, they are on payroll.
Really?
Oh, they're on payroll. And then, of course, you listen the other time. I mean, for crying out loud, even policemen now, politicians, and if you can just pay the price, you have your platoon of policemen after you. Policemen that are supposed to be working and providing security for the citizens, okay? So these are the issues that need to be addressed, okay? And I am not in support of, you know, you are saying that the president should appear within 48 hours. Excuse me. Look, let's forget about politics.
Because these are representatives of the people.
But excuse me. You remember what happened even the last time the president appeared in the Senate? They were booing the president. Is that what we want to see? I mean, let's look inwards. Let's check ourselves.
Let me put you on the spot now, both of you, and perhaps some of your final moments on the program tonight. Let me begin with you, Colonel Yomidari. If you are to, assuming the president is seated right at the back of that camera, and you are to advise him on what needs to be done urgently to stop the killings of Nigerians, what would that one thing be?
What I will advise the president to do is to ensure that everybody, he comes down and even, you know, I mean, get the lawmakers. This is an issue for both the executive, you know, the legislation, and even the judiciary, okay? Okay, look at even some states now. There are issues with the judiciary. How do you prosecute criminals? Okay? So the president, everyone, all hands must be on deck. Look at, let's take a cue from Western countries, especially the US here. Once there's a threat to national security, they all forget about their differences.
Let me allow Professor, you will take us, lead us into the end of the program, and quickly too. So if you are to advise the president now on what must be done, like today, what would that be? One thing.
First thing first is funding. Funding of our security is the most important thing. If you look at it, our security, let me take a police, for example. We have almost 7,000 police formation in Nigeria. I think the budget of 2015 and thereabout, you have 20 billion allocated to the police. Only 9 billion was released in that amount, and 114 million for the running of the police stations. If you now subdivide that money, you are going to have 4,000 naira to each police station. So funding first, and now we have to digitalize our police system because we have gone to smart policing, not the kind of analog policing we are doing, because you need to know the people. When you know the people, that is where you can have intelligence about those criminals in the society.
Thank you so much, Professor. We must leave it at that. Very critical, very important issues that we have taken on tonight, and we hope that some of these issues will be nipped in the bud. I must sincerely thank my partner tonight, Colonel Yomidari. Always a pleasure having you to share your thoughts on some of the way out in some of these issues we find ourselves in the security of this country. And also, Professor Usiji Medana, Professor of Criminal Justice System and Penology. It's a pleasure having you tonight again, Professor Medana. Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. We do hope that you will keep safe wherever you may be. Look out to the right, look out to the left, and ensure that you be your brother's keeper. Thank you so much, everyone.